Hey traders, welcome back to another video. Pre-market notes for today's session, September 19th. We are at record highs. There is no profile to go back to the left to. We are at 245.67 at the moment, and we have nothing to compare to, as again, we're at record highs. IWM hasn't seen prices this high in at least 5 years, if at all. So we have balanced down from last session near the 244 area, 244.60, 62 area, with POC at 244.49. Value high is at the 245.20 area, and we are above that profile of last session. So technically, we are out of balance to the upside from last session, but prices is continuing to trade higher based off the rate cuts. So the market is considering or looking at this as a good thing, which it is, and prices are soaring. But again, we're seeing prices that we've never seen before on the IWM auction. So it's the only thing that would make sense as far as analysis to me is to trade back down to balance, right? Back down to value or POC, I should say, not value, POC. But prices are continuing to go higher. We see a little bit of a resistance at the 910 candle where there's a lot of buyers, a big number of buyers here at the top of this candle, but we're not seeing any push higher after that. So potentially some absorption could potentially happen here. 10 minutes into a cash open is hard to say. At the moment, we are definitely near deviation, close to deviation of today's session. Deviation sell, first one, which is 2.5. We can start to see it flatten out a little bit here from the last candle, which is a sign that we could be fading back down to balance or at least to value high. That'd be a good place to take profits if we were to fade down. And with the last candle, 915, we didn't trade above that high buy volume, which we are doing right now. So we may continue to run, man. If that's the case, that this would be a great day to stay out of the market. But the only thing that really makes the most sense, in my opinion, is to fade back down to value because there's no value to compare to as at we at all-time highs. All right. There is, let's see, no reports today. As of Friday, we don't have anything to compare to. No one speaking except for 2:30, 1 o'clock. So there's no catalyst as far as news. But we have absolutely nothing to compare to. Again, the only analysis for me would be to fade the market down. Maybe get to the bottom, the bargain basement prices at the deviations to sell it down. But it's not looking like buyers are slowing up. We're seeing heavy buyers at the bottom of this candle, and they're pushing higher. There's nothing compared. So the only thing I will be looking for is to fade it back down, but I would need to see something happening. And right now, with 8 minutes to cash, there's nothing that gives me the warm and fuzzies about fading it back down to least to value or to VWAP, will be a safe place to take profit. So I will add the 246 puts and the 245 puts. No calls at all. And we'll see if we can find some reaction as we're maybe seeing it right here. All right, we may be seeing it here. Again, that aggressive buying is not pushing the market higher. Like I said, the only issue with that is there's nothing to compare it to. All right, so let's get back at it. Got about 8 minutes until cash open. I'll get back with you guys before cash, and we can see if we can make a fade down to either POC or a safe places VWAP. All right, traders, we are a minute and 50 seconds until cash open. We're starting to see some push down. All that buying here, right here, from this candle, 910, 920, and then 925. There's a lot of buying there, right? Let's see if I can get that to click. There we go. A lot of buying there, but price is not pushing higher. We're starting to see that rejection down. So that's a good sign. Again, I do have 246, 245, and 244 puts with 245 puts in my active trader ready to go. Now I kind of get a clearer picture of what's happening. It looks like we are absorbing the buyers here. So that's a great sign. VWAP is kind of close, but looks like we are absorbing. And then I had this triangle here that was based off, I have time, 45 seconds, yeah. Was based off post market, this absorption here. From here to here, then sellers dropped it with force. So that is why I have that rectangle there. Looks like we're doing that now. Hopefully it doesn't fall too fast. But that is absorption of buyers right there. Classic. Major buying. So 8 seconds. Again, I do have 245 puts in my active trader. And price is a little high, but that's going to change. And the market is opening now. Let's hopefully we don't have a straight drop that we can't catch. We can't do this one anyway until the book updates. The spread is way too wide for me to the spread. Okay, there we go. Spread is better. Let's see if we have a retracement first and then a drop would be better. Look at that algos right there. All right. 245 puts I'm entering now. $84 per contract. Oh, there we go. So look at those algos, algorithms selling. That's a aggressiveness too. All right. Let's see if we continue down there. Aggressive. At least back to here. Then I'm gonna take everything here. So I'm at 90. So 84 right now, we at 90. And then I would probably, if we were to drop it further down, at least get the $10, and then we'll drop it further down to balance, where I think that'd be okay. So I just got the first 10 and 94, moving my stop to 86 to lock in that. And then this would be pretty much take everything. We get down to 244.60, which we're getting very close. I may just go ahead and move my stop some more. All right, moving my stop some more. And then I'm just gonna take everything. What just happened? Oh, there we go. Ooh, did it too fast. Okay. Sorry, TOS. Didn't get a chance to do that. All right. All right, I'm taking everything now because we're getting pretty close to it. That seems like a nice rejection from POC. So everything is going to be at 104. So that is a full 20. I was going to let 5 run, but I'm just going to take everything here and just lock in my 20, stay disciplined, and do $20 profit. So right now it's back to 98. So yeah, see how we're rejecting that now? So that just makes sense. That makes sense. See, it was coming back to balancing that checkbook. And then we had some algorithm orders. Look at that. 26.57 once, one, two, three, 4 times. Right? That's an algo. And then was there any more? Doesn't look like it. Nope. And then that was a straight drop. So that was an algorithm program that just activated, coming back to balance. Yeah, that was a good place to take. So 104, 84 to 94 to 104. And this is a good place, good safe place to take profit because again, we're coming back to balancing the checkbook at POC. It's pretty quick. Had to take a quick beat because the options ladders weren't right. They were showing a $20 spread, which is insane. All right, let's see what happens when it comes back to when it comes into POC now. Uh, just make sure everything is working correctly. Yep. All my orders are filled, so I am good. So here we're right now at POC of last session, right here, right there. So that, like I was saying in pre-market, my pre-market analysis, the only thing that made sense was a trade down to POC because we didn't have anything to the left to reference. This is our very first time being at the 245 area. This is all-time highs, so we have nothing to reference to. So the only thing that would make sense is to the market is going to rebalance. All right. So in the balance, the closest balance was the POC, which is balance of last session. That doesn't say it's not going to continue to drop as it's looking like it's trying to. Maybe it's starting to balance out a little bit, but that's a safe place to take profit. Now, right now, 245 puts are going for $114. My entry was 84 or 81. Was it 81? 84. So 84 to 94 was the 10. I always take 75% off there. And then 104 was the 20. I really wanted to because especially yesterday. Yesterday was one of those runners where it's like, man, I could have let maybe 5, 10 positions run, but I never do. I never do. So today I decided to try that and coming to POC, that was the 20. So let's just take the 20 and make it a good end of the week. It's not to say that it won't drop it, but safe place to take profits. So we had algo programs create imbalances to the downside. It took what, 9, 10 for us to see a clue, for the market to give us a clue of which way, which direction. Again, we didn't have anything to the left because we had all-time highs. So there's no profile to no value high, no POC, no value low on the market profile side or the volume profile. We had no idea on which important number the market could potentially play from to reverse. So we had to rely on, what was happening at pre-market or futures. And you can see at 9, 10 here, the let me highlight that real quick. Where are you? Here. All right. So you can see here the 9, 10 candle, we get absorption, right? We see buyers come into heavy volume, but getting rejected, right? So there's a aggressive buying coming to a passive seller here. If this was a continuation of the buy of buying up maybe to the 246s, then with the aggressive buying, you would see price continue to go higher. It didn't. So that was one. And then moving over to the 920 candle, the exact same thing happened. Okay. They tried it. They tried to move up. You can see with this big rejection wick, all of this volume happening, buying volume, but price is not going away. Right. So if this was a classic absorption, aggressive buying coming into a big passive seller wall, just sitting there gobbling up all of those buyers and dropping the market. Even 925 candle here, right here, this exact same thing. All this buying here, green candle, 11,000 in volume here. All of that still couldn't push the market higher. That's buying volume, buying delta or positive delta. Could not push the market higher. So this is classic absorption. That aggressive buying hitting the wall of sellers. Okay, so that was the clue that we said. And then this area right here between 245.67 to 245.48 came from post market. And you can see even pre did the same thing. Rejected, rejected, rejected. They ran through it for whatever the reason was. But that came from here. Let me go all the way back to post market of the 18th. And that was here, right? This is post. Let me do one better, make it easier to see. So this is post market, last session. Price comes into a wall of buying, but couldn't push the price higher. And then we had this huge rejection right at 4 a.m. this morning, which started the VWAP anchors. Tried it, absorbed here. And then we see, if I make it a little bigger, algo programs hit right there. Anytime you see the exact same number over top of each other, that's an algo program that hit, that was activated. And then you can see this extremely aggressive selling back to point of control, which is balance of last session. And we're actually going through it. There was some taking profits, you can see, and now they look like they're trying to run through it. So we started the analysis this morning with not really knowing. We had no clue because again, this is all-time high, so we had nothing to reference to. The logical play, in my opinion, which we talked about in pre-market notes earlier in this video, is that we logically will come, the market is going to balance itself out. It needs to balance the checkbook. So the fade down to balance would make the most sense. And then we're starting to see, look, they're balancing out now. Right? Look at that nice little wick. Aggressive selling right there, trying to balance it out. Now, that's not going to say it's going to reverse, but it did balance itself out. This could be a nice two-way auction, potentially to go higher. Maybe the market wants to trade higher. Maybe it does want to go deeper into the 246 price point, or maybe 247s. Who knows? That's to be seen. But market always wanted to balance itself out. We couldn't balance out to previous days because there were no previous days. So the logical move was to balance itself down, and then we'll see what happens after it balances itself down. All right. Had a way to beat as the algos hit because the options ladder couldn't keep up. But once it did, entered at 84, took half at 94, and then 20 at 104. Looking to try to push it a little further than that, but it just made sense since we was at POC just to take everything off the table because that's balance. All right. As always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to message me here on YouTube. And I reply back to every message that I get from you guys. I look forward to it. I encourage it. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions. And I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Have a great Friday. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll get back at it on Monday.